Right, back at the farmhouse this week. Big one this week and next week. The hall, stairs and landing. As you can see from the first few clips, plenty of big, massive hairline cracks throughout all the ceilings and throughout all the walls. But yeah, didn't really get much footage of the fill and prep of these cracks, unfortunately. But I'll explain what I'd done for it so you can obviously do it on your project. But basically, every single hairline crack I raked out to give it a deeper cavity. If you think about it, it's gonna last longer if you rake out all the old stuff rather than trying to fill over hairline cracks. Bit like when you get a filling in a tooth, they drill the tooth out, then it gives a bit bigger surface for the filler to obviously do its work. Exactly the same with cracks. Rake them all out, then a peel stop them all with Zinsser peel stop. Just gives you obviously somewhere for the filler to bond to and also settles any dust and things like that within the crack. So yeah, went on with peel stop. When that was dry, I filled all the cracks firstly with some cork. This just obviously with it being a flexi filler, gets right in there, make sure it fills in all the voids and gives us a good basis to go off on. Then what I've done is for the second fill, I used some Presonet multi-purpose filler. This was a box filler that I mixed up with water. And what I like to do with the first coat, I like to scrape all the excess off and make sure I'm pushing that first coat as far into the cavities as I can. A lot of people maybe overfill and sand down, not me. I like to fill, scrape all the excess off, let that dry and sink in, and then go heavy with the second fill. Right, so now all the prep's done. You'll have seen from a previous video that I've done, I've used the Mirka D-Ros 2 to buff all these walls down as smoothly as possible. Now, these walls, as you can tell, they're not going to be 100% perfect like a freshly plastered wall, but in all fairness, the customers like the farmhouse look. They like a bit of character, and if the walls are too smooth, it kind of takes a bit of that away. And I've heard a lot of people talk about that before. Sometimes they like a little bit of a wall that's not pristine. They like a little bit of character added to the property, but these walls still come up absolutely fantastic, as you're going to see in the video. But yeah, buffed all the walls out with the D-Ros, and to do this whole process I took the best part of 3 days. Raking them out, clearing up as I go along, peel stopping it, letting it dry, corking all the cracks, tight skim with the multi-purpose and an over skim with the multi-purpose. It got these walls looking fantastic. Anyway, moving on to the paint, we obviously cut in the ceilings and painted all the ceilings first. A question I get a lot from people is, what do you paint first, ceiling, walls, woodwork? I like to work from the top down, depending on the project and depending on obviously the paint that I'm using, whether it's water-based, oil-based. There are different processes for that, but for me, mainly, I like to do ceilings, walls, woodwork. On this property, I'm not doing any woodwork or any doors, so we're going to start off cutting in all the ceilings, and what we're going to do is we're going to bring it down a few millimeters or even a few centimeters. You're going to see some footage of some floral pattern that was around all the edges of the walls in this property, so just giving them a coat of white as I go along. But yeah, the reason we do this in the decorating industry is if you paint your ceilings and you're cutting them in and then you're cutting in the wall, it doesn't give you a good line to go off. So we bring the white down a few millimeters to then cut in with the wall paint, so we can create nice crisp lines where we can. So as you can see, there are some fiddly ceiling areas over the stairs. Plastering isn't that great in these areas, so I'm kind of just like back rolling it a few times to get some coverage, but they do come up really nice. And then of course we're moving on to the walls. So we've obviously buffed these down. We've obviously wiped them down as well with a few wipes to get off any excess dust, but I must admit with the dustless sanding system there wasn't much dust on the surface. But yeah, I really enjoyed this particular project for all the little intricate pieces of obviously the layout of the farmhouse. This property is hundreds of years old and it's kept a lot of its great little characteristics, like the original doorbell, little porter style serving hatches, just loads of little intricate bits of painting went into this, and I've thoroughly enjoyed it. The colour they went for, if you're interested, is Alabaster White by Dulux Heritage, which just made the space look incredible, to be honest. Nice, open, bright, off-white colour. And then again, I didn't really get any footage of this, but obviously once I've given all the walls a coat, you can then kind of see any little tiny imperfections in any of the filling and things. So then what I've done is I spent a couple of hours after the first coat going back through the walls with some fine filler and just getting those little tiny intricate pieces to make it look obviously that much better. Again, wanted kind of like finished filling the whole stairs and landing. The first part are ready for a little sand and a second coat. And yeah, that is it for this video. As you can see from the finish, compared to the beginning of the video, you think that those walls are freshly plastered. Customers so happy with the way it's turned out. They couldn't believe obviously how nicely it got them. It's always nice to get compliments like that off the customers. And I'm gonna post a video maybe in a few weeks as they're getting all the flooring done, getting everything back in, and I'll post a little video of what it looks like once everything's finished. But yeah, that is it for today's decorating video. If you did like it, don't forget to follow the page, and yeah, that's the video.